Hello, Grace family. I'm glad to hear with you a Maundy Thursday message through this video. Surely, novel coronavirus is changing our way of life, including how we worship and how we manifest our Christian faith. Yet, I am excited that you are listening to this and adjusting to this new environment. So the title of today's message is Love's Challenge. To begin with, let me share with you a story. This is my mother-in-law, in whom you probably met before, and the baby, it's like I keep giving you my PowerPoints. That's the first picture in the slide. And the baby in our arm is Luke, not Ph.D. When my wife Tahe was delivering Luke, it took a long time. I mean, really long. Contraction after contraction, screaming after screaming. Ask any mother about their first delivery. It's long and painful. When contraction came, my mother-in-law and I, we were teaming up, pushing the aside to reduce pain. But the thing is, Luke came 8:59 a.m., which means we had to do it all night long. It was almost 2 a.m. and I just couldn't do it because I was so sleepy. So I told my mother-in-law, "No, I'm sorry, I'm gonna sleep. And when I up, I will let you sleep." Then I passed out about an hour. But guess what? Did she sleep after I got up? No, she was up and taking care of her daughter all night long. It was after the baby was born that she took some sleep. And I was really surprised. I was really surprised what love could do. That's why I was a little scared before Phoebe came, because I knew I couldn't do that. And thank God, Phoebe, she came fast. I mean, really fast. You know what I mean. Maundy Thursday is the Thursday during the Holy Week, the day before Good Friday, in which Christ is crucified. The term Maundy in Maundy Thursday comes from the Latin word mandatum, which means commandment. In John 13:34 in Vulgate, the Latin Bible. Jesus says to his disciples, "I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another." The Old Testament lectionary text for Maundy Thursday is Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 through 4 and 11 through 14, in which God institutes the most important, and I will say the first Jewish festival, which is the Passover. Not to mention, since it's Maundy Thursday, we definitely need to think of John 13, where Jesus washes the disciples' feet and commands them to love one another. That's the backdrop of today's message. From this text, especially from the story in Exodus, I want to draw 3 lessons or challenges. The first is this: God's love challenges us to live humbly. The Passover basically reenacts what the Israelites had done in Egypt when God brought the 10th and the last plague, which is the killing of the firstborn. They are to slaughter a lamb, put its blood on the doorpost and the lintels of their houses, and eat the land inside. How to eat? It's really interesting, even peculiar. Exodus 12:11 says, "This is how you shall eat it. Your loins girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it hurriedly. It is the Passover of the Lord." So, gird your loins. We don't say it anymore. It basically means tighten your pants, especially in the battlefield to fight. Before you fight, you have to tighten your pants and then fight. In other words, it means get ready for a dangerous situation. And wear your sandals on your feet, hold your staff in your hand, and eat it quickly, as if they are where? In Egypt. The message here is this: don't take it for granted for what you have right now. Be aware that anything can happen, any harm can come to you. And we know this, more than ever before because of the coronavirus. It makes us humble, allows us to realize our fragile life, and brings our needs to God, like the Israelites in Egypt. So the first challenge is to live humbly. The second lesson is this: God's love challenges us to live prayerfully. Though we should not take things for granted, we have a lot of quote-unquote givens. We used to meet people wherever and whenever, as long as there's a permission from wife. We virtually had no nationwide war inside our territory in the United States history. But COVID-19, this virus, wakes us up to the reality that we ourselves, our lives, can be seriously threatened. Coronavirus task force team predicted and projected 200,000 deaths in the United States alone because of this virus. It is a serious threat. Exodus 12:12 states, "For I will pass through the land of Egypt that night, and I will strike down every firstborn in the land of Egypt, both human beings and animals. On all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgments. I am the Lord." My friends, I'm not saying that God is judging the United States with coronavirus as he did in Egypt with the angel of death. No, God forbid. No. But the point I want to share with you is that we need to be awakened to the threat of death, and at the same time, more importantly, our need of God and our need in God. Living in prayer every day as if we are living in Egypt. So the second challenge is to live prayerfully, seeking God every day and in every moment. The third lesson is this: God's love challenges us to live gratefully. In the midst of losing the firstborn, in the middle of weeping and wailing, losing life and facing death, just as we do every day, what saves us is the Lamb, the blood of the Lamb. That is the game changer. Exodus 12:13 says, "The blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you live. When I see the blood, I will pass over you, and no plague shall destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt." Not because they did something great or lived with virtue, but because of the blood of the Lamb. Why? Because no one is perfect. Everyone falls short of God's glory and is in need of God's grace, in need of God's mercy. This bare fact, this imbalance between our sin and God's grace, invites us to appreciate the blood of the Lamb. And we know who this Lamb is in John's Gospel. This Passover Lamb is Christ Himself. The most innocent person, Jesus, died of the most brutal death, crucifixion. That's not only the irony and mystery, but also the glory of the gospel of Jesus Christ. We have so much to be thankful for. We have so much to be grateful for, my friends. So the third challenge is to live gratefully. As I close, I want to go back to the delivery room where my, mother-in-law is holding my baby, Luke, because it also challenges me to love others as much as I can, and even more than I think I can. On this night, 2,000 years ago, Jesus did it by washing His disciples' feet like a servant. Though He was the Son of God, and also, as we confess, the Creator of the universe. It is a challenge. It will take a lifetime for us to respond to this challenge. Yet today, let us answer that call. Let us respond to that challenge, not with something glamorous, but with something small yet meaningful, by living humbly, prayerfully, and gratefully. I hope and pray that God gives us, you and me, the strength to do that, to love those around us as much as we can, and even more than we think we can. Amen.